that it becomes foreign to us when we enter into a place of liberty. We almost don't know how to act when people act crazy. The Lord spoke to me the other night, and I shared it with the church on Wednesday night. And I said to them that the Lord had spoken to me and said that the worship He wants now is a worship that borderlines insanity. Just at the edge of crazy, looking for some folk that were just absolute idiots.
Oh my, you make us feel all right.
You cannot be interpreted. See, the problem is that most of us do repetitive things, and we act the way we've seen somebody else act. We pick up a culture of worship and praise that takes place in the type of organization, denomination, or affiliation that we have become accustomed to. And that becomes very predictable. So now the devil knows what you're going to do. He can set up and defeat you before you even do it. It gets to the place where your activity doesn't really even penetrate where you need to go in the power of the Holy Ghost. But when you break out of that thing, just somebody just say, break out of it, break out. When you break out of that and do the unexpected, do something you haven't done, just act like you lost your mind. You do need to lose your mind. And worship God in spirit and in truth. You experience the power of God beyond what you have known. It was some years ago, I don't know, Marlon, maybe 6 or 7 years ago, maybe more. We were in a facility that was not a church, and we were worshiping there. The Spirit of the Lord was meeting us there with a great group of people, and just the power of God was great in that place. And we came to prepare for a church service on that Saturday, and we had a notice on the door from the city that we could not have service there any longer. It was a restaurant. You remember that, don't you? It was a restaurant, and we had turned it into a church to just have the time. We had a good maybe 300-400 head people at that time. And so I fell into myself. I just collapsed, thinking to myself, Lord, what will we do? Here it is the weekend. And we don't have any idea where we're going to go or where we're going to have church. And I began to pray and ask God what to do and call the saints. And we decided that Sunday morning we would have church in the park. Because we couldn't find a building. God ain't saying nothing. We couldn't find a place. So we said we would have church in the park. And so one of the members lived not far from the park, and she got permission for us to have it there, and they called around and did all the things that were necessary. So we told everybody that we were going to have picnic service and bring your food and things, and we were going to have church in the park. We put a sign on the door. That's the only way we had to get in touch with people. We didn't have Facebook then. Only way we knew how to get in touch with people. Call on the phone, put a sign on the door. This is where we're going to be meeting. What was the name of that park? Was that McGovern Park? Yeah. I can't remember what park it was, but we said we were going to meet at the park. So I was just falling in my place of peace and believing God. We prepared everything, went to bed on Saturday night. We woke up Sunday morning. It was raining like you have never seen rain in your life. I can remember standing and looking out my window and looking at my wife and just shaking my head and saying, Lord have mercy, what are we going to do? It was raining all over the city. The forecasters had said it was going to rain even into Tuesday or Wednesday of that week. I was sitting there in my break room and looking at the rain, and the Lord said, just worship. I sat there and began to worship the Lord. I sat there and began to worship the Lord. And how I was worshiping, the telephone rang. And we had a mother in our church at that time named Mother Strickler. She was a praying woman. You need some praying mothers in the church. She called me on the phone and she spoke into tongues for a little while. When she got finished speaking in tongues, she said, Pastor, she said, the Lord said, don't worry, he's going to stop the rain and dry up the ground, and we will have church in the park, just like he said. Come on, give God some praise in here. I'm trying to help you. I hung up the phone encouraged. I turned around and told my wife, I said, Mother Strickland said that the rain is going to stop and the ground is going to dry up and we will have church. And she didn't even pay any attention to me. She kept on frying chicken and kept on getting ready. Come on, somebody. Woman of faith. I went on and prepared myself and kept looking out the window and watching the rain, watching the rain, watching the rain. It slowed up, but it didn't stop. So we got our clothes, got kids ready, put everything in the car, drove toward the park with the rain coming down. I mean coming down. You know, the closer we got to that park, the less it rained. I can't get help in here. I'm telling you the truth today. I'm telling you a story. I got some witnesses here. From every side of town, our people drove. And the closer we got to the park, the more the rain stopped. By the time we got to that park, it was the only place in the city where it wasn't raining. The Lord had stopped the rain over the park, let the sun come out, dried up the whole place. It was raining on every other side of the city except where the saints have gathered. Let me hear you lift your voice and shout, Jehovah! Jehovah! Shout it again, Jehovah! The Lord will make room for you. The Lord will make room for you. By the time the next Sunday came around, we had some place to go. And the Lord had made a way. Now, everything is not the devil.
That's right. Come on, Apostle.
Let the witness here. Everything is not the devil, and stop calling everything the devil. Apostolic and prophetic people have a sense of journey on the inside of them. There is a push that God gives us that makes us go from one place to another. When you get too comfortable, when you start claiming something that's not yours, when you allow yourself to feel like you're supposed to rest in a place where demons live, up under the ground, where there's trouble coming around the next corner, where something that you need to get to, you can't get to from there, then God will create situations to push you into your next place. It's not always the enemy. Sometimes it's the power of God and God's divine plan. Is that tabernacle, Lord?
Yeah.
Don't build a house, just pitch a tent. Did you hear what I said? Don't build a house yet, just pitch a tent so you can take it down and put it up. Take it down and put it up. Take it down and put it up until you get to the place where God says, I'm going to place my name there. And then you know you're in the place of God. We tabernacled for many years without any place to go. We had church in community centers. We had church in other people's churches. We had church in homes. We had church in libraries. That's where we had our meetings at. Every place we could find to go, we occupied it. And we were amazed. We were amazed at what God did. Hear me, hear me. Other pastors said to me in the city, I can't understand what you're doing, Daniels. He said, other people lose their building and have to go from place to place, and they lose people and lose their church. He said, every place you go, you grow. Like babies here.